ladies and gentlemen. How we doing today? We doing all right? All right. I'm going to crank this up just a little bit here. Okay, this is going to be a short one today. I promise, okay? Yeah, famous last words, right? Look, here's the thing, okay? I talked about this the other day, and, I brought up the whole thing that happened with, up there at Martha's Vineyard, Martha's Place. And I got to say right here, Barack, Michelle, where the fuck were you? You know y'all fucked up, right? Y'all fucked up in a bad way. Like, you know what you could have done with this situation, you know what I mean? I mean, this could have been like the golden goose. This could have changed the midterm elections. All you had to do was mobilize, get your ass down there, and pick up those 50 Venezuelans and take them out to your 30-acre, $12 million property. You put up your birthday tent. Come on, Barack, you know you got people to get that fucking tent up. And then guess what? You got 50 fucking free, landscapers. And you change the tide. You change the whole thing. Instead of fucking shipping these people to a military fucking base, you take them in. You could have been a modern day Jesus, bro. Barack, you dropped the ball so bad on this. All you Democrats dropped the ball. You fucked up so bad. Instead of throwing shade at DeSantis, you take 50 people in. You take 50 people in and you change the course. You change the course of the whole fucking thing. It would have been simple. I mean, I'm an idiot and I would have figured this shit out. If they'd have showed up here and I was trying to do some kind of a game-changing event. I mean, this is the equivalent of the New York Jets Mark Sanchez butt fumble that you guys pulled. Straight up. You guys blew it. Like, fucking blew it. Like, I mean, it's amazing how stupid you all are. I mean, this was a golden opportunity. A golden opportunity. And I'm blowing it right now. I got the wrong date up there. We'll take that off. It's the 18th. Happy Sunday Fun Day, people. Shit. No, absolutely incredible. These people, they've got to sign up, whatever, the Haven Vineyard or whatever the hell the name is of that main place. I looked up their airport. From what I understand, these folks got dropped off, obviously at the airport because apparently you could only fly or take a ferry into this place. And they had to walk like 3.5 miles. And I did some Google searches yesterday and managed to find some, it's not hard, photos of that airport. It's not very big, but it's just got private jets everywhere. That's how much money is out there. I mean, the median house on Martha's Vineyard, I think, was like 1.3 mil. I saw literally a three bed house. Excuse me. It was 1,625 square feet. And the thing, I believe the price tag on it was $3.45 million on Zillow. I mean, Obama's got, he bought a $12 million fucking house with 30 acres on it. And he can't take 50 migrants out there, hang out with them. I mean, you have a good party, you know what I mean? And broadcast it all, how much fun you're having, how you've taken these people in, how you practiced what you preach. I mean, it was so easy, Obama. You were the president of a nation of 340 million people, and you can't take 50 people out to your 30-acre, $12 million home? I mean, it didn't even have to be in your heart to do that. It could have just been, it would have been the move of all these fucking elections. Everything, bro. Straight up. It would have been the move of the century. And you just butt fumbled it, man. You butt fumbled it. I'll laugh my ass off if I hear that you go out there and you get these motherfuckers from that military base out there at Cape Cod. I would do it if I were you. I mean, I'm not trying to help y'all out because I don't really like y'all, but I don't like the fucking Republicans either, so I don't care. I just like seeing people make moves, man. I mean, this would be the move. You know what I'm saying? This would be the move of the century. I mean, dude, you make that move, you probably seal the deal on 2024. You could put a goddamn hamster up there and back that hamster. I mean, They'd probably reelect that fucking, that fucking Pelosi and Schumer and all of them. Even, even fucking Nadler with his fucking front butt and his fucking awesome belt. Oh man, I just can't believe you guys screwed this up so badly. You Joyanne Reed, you're dumb. Mika and Morty or whatever the fuck your names are on MSDNC, you're fucking retarded. You guys are dumb. You are dumb. And I'm sorry to use the R word, but when you do something like that, it is retarded. And I'm not taking anything, and I'm no offense towards, people with Down syndrome, because, anybody would have seen this as an opportunity. It was a golden goose. It was an opportunity like you couldn't believe. And you guys fucked it up. You fucked it up worse than, I'm just laughing my ass off. It's absolutely just ridiculous to think about how stupid y'all are. Stupid. And the people up there, you had the one guy, Max Phelan, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, said about the migrants being dropped off there at the airport, but he said it was the equivalent of him taking his trash up the road to like a neighbor's house and throwing it in their fucking yard. And NBC they put that shit out there. They tweeted it, and then they had to fucking recant it. They had to disappear it. How stupid are you to put a quote out like that? You all could have used this and shown your compassion. You could have shown who it is that you're trying to be and who you obviously aren't. You're obviously not that person. You're not that group. You're not that party. You're not those people. You have no compassion. You got no love. You're hypocritical, and you don't practice what you preach. It's fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious that you guys had this right there. I mean, it's like me coming up with a fucking sundae and you say, no, I just kick you in the fucking nuts and walk away. I mean, like, here's a banana split. You want this? No. Where'd it come from? Venezuela? Well, yeah, but it's still a nice banana split. I mean, I had it in the freezer the whole flight here. It's good. You want it? Nope. Okay. I fucking kick him in the nuts and walk away and go eat my fucking ice cream sundae. And I mean, Republicans, you guys could have fucking done something like this too. You could have, because you can't tell me that there's not. I mean, I would imagine that the majority up there, the way it breaks down up there on Martha's Vineyard is you got 78.8% are white, but you have 10.2% Hispanic, which is the next highest demographic. Now, why are there 10%? There's 10% Hispanic people there. What do you think they're doing up there? You got your landscapers, your pool, your people taking care of pools, your maids, your servants. This is upper crust. Fucking, this is the upper crust of the. This is like the rolled crimped part of the pie crust, right? Like you got the regular crust that gets soggy underneath, but then you got like that crimped crust with the little like the lath kind of, the lattice on top of that apple pie. Yeah. This is what Martha's Vineyard is. They're the lattice. They're the crimped crust on the top. So you know why there's 10.2% Hispanic population up there. It's cheap labor, right, folks? Come on. If that's a fact, then tell me, am I lying? I don't think so. Anyway, I just can't believe, I sat back and took a look at this and just thought, what a screw up. I mean, to think that the strategists in the Democratic Party, in the DNC, the people that are fucking pulling the strings of that potato head that can't even talk. And by the way, whoever's writing his fucking script for him anymore, dude, do not ever put anything in his fucking script about the preamble to the Constitution, because he cannot get that shit right. He was on his way. He was on a roll last Monday. He was on a roll when he was in Boston. He almost had it. And then it came to the word unalienable. And he said inalienable and stuttered and stammered and completely went off topic. and started yammering about we never did it. We never did it. We never did it. What? I mean, what a moron. And then you see Trump, right, in Ohio, in Youngstown, Ohio yesterday, probably had the best rally that he's had in, I don't even know. He had those people engaged, and he was on fire. Like, he was on fire. He basically came out and said, look, I'm coming out. We're going to do this thing, and we're going to go back in there and take it over. He didn't make an official announcement, but anybody that heard it, I mean, he may as well have said, I'm coming, and I'm coming at you, and then we're going to do it, and he's going to. And Democrats, you all fucked up, you know, and you're not going to be able to make this right. So if you hear this and you decide that on the next time that the bus shows up, the next time that a flight comes in, that you're going to try and do this time, you're going to show your ass. You're going to show your ass, and you know, maybe give me a like, maybe subscribe to my channel, huh, Dems? Maybe you could hire me as a strategist, because you all, with your degrees and your stupidity and your silliness, I mean, I cannot believe, I mean, an intern could have figured this shit out, and you guys, you just got up there and grandstanded and talked about how it was, you know, you got that dipshit out in California talking about human trafficking and kidnapping charges against DeSantis. Perfect opportunity for DeSantis to just go fucking give him a verbal fucking pistol whipping. You know, said I think that governor out there in California might have, his hair gel might be messing with his brain functions, to the effect is what he said, which was, I mean, talk about giving the guy a layup. And you guys had a layup. You guys had a slam dunk. And you totally just screwed it up so bad. Like you do everything. You've got Hillary Clinton grandstanding talking about, you know, morality with fucking classified information. Well, that is I mean, are you kidding? It's just as bad as having Peter Strzok get up there and talk about the fucking integrity of the FBI. I mean, CNN, y'all are stupid. I mean, you're getting better, though. You got rid of Stelter. Where is he going? He's going to Harvard or something now? Harvard, you're all stupid. How many people in the White House working for the Democrats right now, working in the administration, how many of them went to Harvard, Yale, Brown? Any of these, and y'all couldn't figure this out? I mean, come on now. I mean, I'm just a dude sitting out here in Wyoming, and this is, I mean, had they shown up here in Cody, Wyoming with a flight with 50 people, I'll tell you what, you know what, if I was looking to push something, if I was looking for motivation, if I was looking for a way to influence somebody, to show I mean, even if it's not from your heart, right? Now, me personally, I would have helped people out. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't like the idea of people coming here illegally, but here's the thing. You got to look at it like this. These people were from Venezuela. Do you know what kind of a trip that is just to get to the border, right? Like somebody told me that, like, they made them walk 3.5 miles. I said, 3.5 miles is nothing to these folks. They came from fucking Venezuela. So imagine what things are like to make that journey, right? And you got to know that down there, I mean, all they're hearing is, hey, it's open. Go. You can get there. You can do it. You know, I mean, you got to think about how bad life must be in order to go through what these people go through just to get over the border here. They don't know what they're getting into. Can you imagine? You make that trip from Venezuela. You finally get to the fucking Rio Grande. You cross the river, boom, you get jammed up. But you don't care because you made it, right? You didn't get washed away. You know, the cartel didn't get you. If you're a female, maybe you didn't get raped. Every female, from what I understand, that makes that journey, though, ends up, you know, they go on birth control because it's almost an inevitability that they're going to endure a sexual assault. So you think about that. You think about that, okay? The willingness to basically sacrifice that, to go through that type of trauma because you want to get over the border and get the fuck out of there. So think about how things must be in order to make that decision. So before you're judgmental towards these people, because I don't think that it's, you know, It's not the migrants' fault. It's not these people that are trying to come here. It's not their fault. We didn't choose where we were born, and it could very easily be you over there trying to get over here. So think about that. Let that sink in. You want to sing proud to be an American. You want to stand for the flag song. You want to act like you're something that you had nothing to do with this country, fool. None of you did. There's not a single living person out there right now that had anything to do with this country and the formation of it. Nothing. You had nothing to do with writing the Constitution. You had nothing to do with forming the states. You had nothing to do with any of it. Okay, so this nationalist bullshit, I love my country. I love the country. I love the people. But I love all people. I don't care where you're from. And yes, I do love America. I love this country. Certainly, it's what I know. It's where I've lived, and I love it. And I love the people and all the people in it. There's a few that fall out of that area. The child molesters, rapos, murderers, Wall Street, bankers, thieves, politicians. I don't care much for them. There's some of those that fall out of the category of redemption. Maybe with Jesus, if you're a child molester, maybe you get redemption with Jesus, but you don't get none with me. If you're a predator, no. And it's crazy because those motherfuckers get 20, 24, 36 months, and then they're back out on the street doing it again. I saw a thing where there's a fool that, released his. They got a guy in Virginia, 21 assaults on women on a walking/jogging trail in Virginia. No pants on, tank top, no pants, running around willy-nilly, literally willy-nilly. You want to talk about loosey-goosey? That's loosey-goosey. That's as commando as it gets. 21 females attacked by this guy. Virginia, how do you let that go on? One time a female comes back from a run and was assaulted by a fucking illegal immigrant with a fucking tank top and no pants on. Dude, he ain't gonna be fucking hard to find. You ain't got dogs? Come on, man. You can't tell me that dude ain't leaving a fucking scent trail behind. No pants on. Probably got ball cheese for days. Probably grody motherfucker. Probably smells worse than Bigfoot's dick. And you just let that guy just attack your wives, your daughters. Dude, I got no respect for that. Can you imagine what would happen out here? I can only imagine what would happen here in Wyoming. If some dude attacked a female out for a walk or a jog with a tank top and no fucking pants on, dude, we would have that dude duct taped to a goddamn fucking traffic light downtown, and somebody would be bringing in a caged grizzly bear and dumping honey all over that motherfucker for the crowds to see. And that's what he should have coming. We got this whole thing about how you ain't gonna change these fucking these predators. You're not gonna change them. They have the highest recidivism rate of any group of criminal. They're sick, they're fucked up, and they're just going to keep doing it. And you're going to keep letting it go because it's okay. It's okay because we're not going to call them pedophiles or child molesters or rapos or chomos. They are young person attracted. Is that the new terminology? I think that's what I heard. This is pathetic. This country is pathetic. It's so ridiculous. And you Democrats, you fucking morons, you guys just fucking totally butt fumbled it, man. Like, you guys should be hanging out with fucking Mark Sanchez right now. Whatever he's doing these days. I mean, this was the butt fumble of a lifetime. I mean, this was motherfucking Leon Lett. You remember that play? Leon Lett. Fucking, showboating. And here comes fucking, what was his name? Beebe. That dude played football at Shadron State. Comes running up behind and fucking punches that ball out. Fucking big ass Leon Lett's about ready to be the hero. He's literally fractions of a second from the hero of of the day. But no, he's got a grandstand. Republicans, now here's what you should do, okay? If you're a Republican donor out there, and I know there's plenty of you, Donald Trump, here's what you should do. You should go out there to Cape Cod, and you should get those 50 migrants and take them down to fucking Mar-a-Lago. Check it out, dude. You got greenskeepers for days, bro. For nothing. Seriously, really, you know, that's what you should have all done. And that's what you should do. That'd be great. You tell me how that would not fucking just turn this whole thing on its head. Instead of being pissy about the fact that the border's open, what if you took these people and took them somewhere and set them up? Set them up. Get them working. You know? But make them comfortable. Be compassionate. Be decent human beings. There's jobs everywhere in this country that people aren't picking up. Trust me. I get job offers every fucking day. My email is full of job offers. Now, they're not job offers that a migrant laborer would be able to pick up, but I tell you what, there's plenty of those positions out there because people aren't working. Republicans, you could take this thing and you could turn it on its fucking head. You know, you ever heard of killing somebody with kindness? I mean, it's a real easy thing to do. It's not hard. Y'all are just dropping it, man. You're dropping the ball. DeSantis, you would be a shoo-in if you said, you know what, I had a change of heart. We're going to send those 2 planes back to Cape Cod. And we're going to bring those people back. You know, President Trump said that he would take them to Mar-a-Lago and set these people up with jobs and housing and get them on the fast track to citizenship. We're going to vet them all. We're going to put them in school. They're going to learn, they're going to learn the language. They're going to take the citizenship and naturalization test. And we're going to make these people citizens of this country. And they're going to be productive members of our community. If you did that, think about the way this would go. Think about that. Republicans, hello, McFly. Anybody home? One simple act like that, a little bit of kindness, it would be amazing what would happen. I mean, we've the Democrats want to say, oh, well, you're weaponizing human beings as, political objects or whatever. Yeah, but so are you. So Republicans, Democrats, you're both in the fucking wrong here. You're both in the wrong. And you're both, really, Republicans, you guys are screwing this up. And I hope this reaches somebody's fucking ears right now, because I don't see how this is not a move that, out of all you strategists out there, you morons, you guys are stupid. You are stupid. There's a golden opportunity right in front of you. And this would sway the midterms. This would sway 2024. Whichever party would jump on board with something like this, dude, it would change everything. Instead, what do? We got mush mouth sending billions of fucking dollars to fucking Ukraine to arm neo-Nazis, to have all the weapons that we're sending there just disappear. They don't make it to the battlefield. Did anybody ever fucking stop to think about the plane that blew up in midair and turned into a fireball and crashed going out of Serbia to Bangladesh full of weapons? Whose weapons were they? Well, we don't know. The thing was a fireball when it landed. There was 8 Ukrainian fucking crew members on that fucking plane, though, that died. And the guy behind the deal was the equivalent of the modern day Victor Boot. I can't remember his name, but he's got sanctions against him. And it seems to me, and this is not a fact, so don't quote me on this. I'm speculating. I have not done my homework on this, so I'm just throwing this idea out there. But they were filming in Serbia the movie My Son Hunter. At the time, attorneys showed up at the movie set trying to get him shut down. Hunter Biden was in Serbia Now, I haven't gone back and cross-referenced these time frames, but if he was in Serbia at the time that that plane blew up full of weapons, what's 2 plus 2? It ain't Jello. It ain't Jello, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's no such thing as coincidence either. And I'm always telling you all this, but there is no such thing as coincidence. There are anomalies, but there is no coincidence. Especially with something like that. For those guys to be over there filming that movie, and what's he doing in Serbia? The only thing going on in Serbia was an arms deal going on with Serbia and Bangladesh, I believe, is where they said that plane was going. Now, I'd have to look that up again, but I'm just going off the top of my head. I'm going off the cuff because that's what I do. None of this shit's scripted. I have a few notes. I usually just get some thoughts in mind and I start talking. You know, got the gift of gab. It's just like, I mean, I'm not comparing myself to anybody, but like watching Trump's rally last night in Youngstown, man. I mean, that dude just got up there. He ain't got no fucking teleprompter. He's just winging it. He's just going. He was firing on all cylinders last night, man. He had those people. He had them going. And his message was not, you know, the crowd wasn't chanting Trump, Trump. They're chanting USA. He's got people that are, you know, they're fired up. They want to see this shit done with, because this is bullshit what we got going on in this country right now. I don't care, Republican, Democrat, whatever. I don't like either of them. You know, I can't stand them. You know, there's maybe a couple people in the whole goddamn scheme of things, you know. You know, you got, I don't know. I like Rand Paul. I think Jim Jordan's all right. I don't give a shit what you say. Marjorie Taylor Greene is, you know, she's certainly a polarizing character, but, you know, she's unafraid. Lauren Boebert, she cracks me up. You know, there's nobody like that on the Democrat side of things. You got a bunch of fucking mushheads over there. You know, you got that goofy Nadler up there. I mean, where did he miss the boat? I looked him up. The dude he's worth peanuts. The rest of these people in there, he's been in office forever. He's got no money. I mean, you could say, okay, well, that means he has integrity. He never sold himself out to lobbyists or this or that. Maybe that's true. But he don't even have a belt. I mean, that one photo, that meme that I made of him, he's got a belt on that looks shittier than the one I'm wearing. You know? I mean, that thing, I mean, he's got his pants pulled up to his nipples. He's got that front butt going on, disheveled hair, can't put his tie on straight. I mean, and this dude just keeps on winning elections. He gets in there and he's asking Chip Roy, why in the world would you have a semi-automatic weapon? You know, these are the idiots that are calling an AR-15 an assault weapon, and they keep saying it. It is not an assault weapon. An assault weapon is a military-grade automatic machine gun. That's why it's called a machine gun. It's automatic. You pull the trigger, and the bullets keep flying. A semi-automatic is... It's no different than... I mean... You know, a handgun. I mean, it you know, unless you modify it, which is not legal, and it's not legal to sell or buy assault weapons. An AR-15 is not an assault weapon any more than, well, what would be an example of a fucking assault weapon that I got right here? I got all sorts of things right here that could be considered an assault weapon, for crying out loud. I mean, here we go. I just changed out the strings on my acoustic guitar last night. And here's the old ones that weren't that old. I'm going to put them on a different guitar. One of these strings is an assault weapon. Right? I mean, ain't that fucking hard? Check it out. I mean, this is a guitar string, right? Now, I'm not giving anybody any fucking suggestions here, but anybody that's half a fucking, you know, or if you're not fucking stupid, you can figure this one out. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, we'll pick, you know, we'll get one of these nice thin guys here. Let's take a G string, huh? Oh, G string. Hey, pun intended. Not intended. But that was an accidental, you know, endeavor in perpetuity, right? That's great. The G-string. The G-string garrote. Maybe I'll start selling these as assault weapons. The G-string garrote. How about that? Sorry, the ends are a little bit tangled up here. Here we go. Can you see that? There's an assault weapon. Right? Right there. I take a wood handle. I drill a hole in it. Put the string through on each side. I got 2 handles. Guess what? I go into a fucking school. You know, who in a school, unless you've got armed security in there, is gonna stop me? I'll go up and grab anybody in a damn school. Trust me. I would never even fucking think about doing that. That's fucked up. But what I'm doing is I'm making an example here. This right here is an assault weapon. Okay? Just as much as a goddamn... I mean, you could go barricade yourself in a room full of 4th graders with this, and you could have the same results that they had in Uvalde. Okay? This is what I'm saying, folks. You're dumb. You're stupid. Any of y'all out there that are fucking whining and sniveling about, yeah, should that kid down there in Uvalde should have never had those fucking firearms. Okay? And trust me, that was a fuck up. Because that dude went in there and spent like $5,000 in that gun shop in a matter of like 3 days. And he had been arrested at 14 years old. Now, granted, they sealed juvenile records, but they should still have a fucking big red fucking flag right on that dude's fucking face. And he went to the same, and you know what? Whatever, you work at that gun shop that you sold those fucking firearms to that dude, I'm sorry. You should have been like, wait a minute. Because just looking at that dude, you know he ain't stable. Right? I mean, you got to know that this dude comes in 3 days. I mean, how'd he pay? I still want to know how this dude paid for these fucking firearms, right? This dude was a fucking part-time burger flinger at Wendy's. He moved out of his parents' house because they weren't letting him play his little video games. So he goes to grandma's house. He doesn't have a vehicle because if he did, he would have had his bug-out shit and all his gear in his own vehicle. He wouldn't have shot grandma in the face and then stolen her truck. And then thrown his gear in there. He left one of the fucking ARs in the fucking truck. I mean, this shit's crazy. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, yeah, that was somebody dropped the ball. And maybe we do need to have some kind of a legislation change on something like that when you got a minor that is showing signs of, this violence. I mean, they arrested him. They took him away for psych eval at 14. Him and his homeboy. They were saying that they were gonna enact a mass casualty scenario when they graduated from high school. Well, he didn't graduate, but, he's dead. And he should have been dead a lot sooner. He shouldn't have been able to pick off all those people. So right there, it's not the fault of the firearm. The guy could have done that. He could have got in there a hell of a lot easier without having the firearms. And the thing is that when you got a gun-free fucking school zone, you're just asking for it. MGT the other day, she was getting hammered by these fucking idiots while she was walking into Congress, They were trying to block her way and they're yelling about, we don't support, who supports kids getting shot? Who supports that? I mean, you take away guns from people and, it's just, you're talking about a fucking hydra. You're talking about a multi-headed fucking monster here. Because you do that and you're going to end up with scenarios like you had, like look at what happened at that Queens of the Stone Age concert in France years back. Citizens there aren't armed, but you can go over there to France and you can go to Paris and you can get an AR-15 on the street out, black market out there for about the same price that you're going to pay here. $1,500, do the fucking currency exchange, whatever. Put you in an AR-15 in a country where nobody has any firearms. Dude, you want to run willy-nilly? You can run willy-nilly over there. I'm not suggesting any of these things. I'm just saying nobody stops to understand and think about, what you can actually, you go into a gun-free zone with a fucking pocket knife and you can do a bat, a fucking spoon for fuck's sake. I mean, if so inclined, you know, I mean, I walk in. I could have gone in there with that fucker in Uvalde, you know, in that school, in that classroom. I would have walked in there just like this, like you see me right now, and I'm not shitting you. Those of you that know me know that I would walk in there like this, with this in my hand, and I would have taken that motherfucker out. Because there ain't no way he's pulling a headshot on me. He's going to be pissing his pants when somebody's actually coming after him, because he's a coward. These people are cowards. That's why they go and they shoot children and unarmed teachers and people that are helpless. That's why they do what they do. They want to die. They're too chicken shit to just kill themselves. So they go and they take a bunch of people out, and they're chicken shit. And the fucking cops down there, chicken shit. You stand out in that hallway and listen to that dude picking off your children? Pathetic. What happened to men? What happened? Men, what happened? I go to the cities, and I look around, and it's pathetic. The only thing I always come back to is it's like, man, if the zombie apocalypse hits, it's like I'm gonna be living for a minute. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be living for a minute. They might get me, but they ain't gonna get me on the fucking onset. That's for sure, because you got all these capri pant wearing, man purse toting, fucking, you know, goofy fucking little boy haircut wearing, walking around with a little faux fucking, you know, that messy on purpose haircut look. What the fuck is that? Dude, grow up, dude. If you're out of the 3rd grade, man, just fucking grow your hair out or shave that shit off. When mine falls out, I don't know if it will. That's halfway down my ass. You grow it out or you fucking shave it off. Cut it down. Buzz it. You don't have to go skin. Fucking take it down to a 1 or a 2. You know? Put a little fade on the side if you know, walk around with a little boy haircut, fucking faux hawk shit, fucking messed up on purpose, you know, looking like fucking Gavin Newsom. He looks like fucking drunk ass Matthew McConaughey's older brother that ain't welcome at Thanksgiving dinner. And he probably isn't. That guy, what a tool bag. And he's got the nerve to fucking say DeSantis should go up on kidnapping charges and human trafficking. Can you imagine though, if you're a migrant and you come from Venezuela and you get put, you have the good fortune of getting put on a fucking jet and then you get off at Martha's Vineyard. You have never seen any shit like that. You're happy to walk them 3.5 miles. And then those motherfuckers, those rich son of a bitches, they fed them fucking Fruit Loops and fucking Tasty Smacks or whatever. Out of fucking styrofoam. Come on, these are rich motherfucking people. That woman gets up there and says, thing is they got to go somewhere. They have to, they've got to go. Get these brown people out of our house. They're not woke. You know, the other guy called them trash. Basically, he said, this is the equivalent of me taking my trash up and throwing it on my neighbor's yard. So he just called, I'd like to see that, Max Phelan. I'd like to see your voting record. Who'd you vote for? Just asking, son. If you voted for the Democrats and you went out and you said that shit, then you're really fucked up. You're fucked up for saying that anyhow, man. You're talking about 50 motherfucking people that have been through a journey like you've never been through. All you people up there on Martha's Vineyard, you ain't never been through what those people went through to get there. You don't even understand that, do you? Because you're too worried about yourselves. You're too worried about your fucking pristine yards and your fucking fancy fucking houses and your fucking silver spoons up your asses that you don't even stop to consider what those people have been through and how fucking privileged you've been in your life. Because how many of y'all up there on Martha's Vineyard came from nothing, right? Maybe Obama's probably the only one because he pretty much came from nothing. You know what I mean? I got to give that up to the dude. I've seen his house where, you know, where he lived. It was a little teeny tiny fucking place, man. He did come up out of no fucking Martha's Vineyard fucking $12 million place. He did well for himself. And hey, good on him. Good on him, man. You know, I don't agree with a lot of the shit he did. You know, I watched the deportations go on when he was in office. I was in federal prison. I watched the way that they moved the pipes in and out of those fucking federal joints, you know, using them in unicorn shit for free fucking, it was free labor. They could pay those guys 23 cents an hour or whatever. And as soon as they came up for pay grade, boom, they got shipped to the next joint, to the next unicorn shop. And the government uses the unicorn shops in the federal prisons as basically slave labor. The place I was at, they made lockers. Any place, any Fed, anything, military, FBI, CIA, any federal building or federal anything that needed something made out of metal, like such as lockers, desks, shit like that, they're fucking pumping that shit out at TI. And dudes are getting paid 23 cents an hour to do it. And so right there, that takes that contract out of the hands of any kind of a private contractor. There's no way that you can compete with that, right? They use these guys to go out and fight forest fires for $1 an hour. They send them out into the fucking these fires that are, I mean, like the fire that took out Paradise a couple years back. I mean, they're sending inmates out there for $1 an hour, and dudes are like, yeah, shit, I would have gone too when I was in there. You're gonna let me go out and fuck, I'll take the risk for $1 an hour, sure, you know. I mean, it's insane. So these people up there at Martha's Island, or Martha's Garage, or whatever the fuck it is, Martha's Place, you all should be ashamed of yourselves. You really should. You should hold your heads in shame. And whoever your leader is out there on that fucking island, you ought to issue a fucking mass apology. Because you guys are really, I would say probably some of the shittiest people on the planet. You live in an environment of fucking abundance and opulence like nobody else in this country. Maybe, you know, where else? The Hamptons. I mean, sure, there's pockets of rich places and shit. Jackson Hole, Wyoming, you know? Like I was saying, if those people had flown into Cody, Wyoming, right here, where you all think that we're just backwards fucking redneck fucking hillbillies or whatever the fuck you think about us. You don't even have a clue. You don't understand how people really are here. Yeah, it's predominantly white, you know? It's a rough landscape. It's a tough place to live. It's cold, and then it's fucking it's stupid hot. The wind blows. It's, you know, it's a rough place. And yeah, it's mostly white, but you know what? I have seen examples. My best friend comes out here, and we go to the local 818 FOE Eagles, where I've been a member since 2006. And guess what? He's the first fully initiated black member of the Cody FOE 818. That's the Fraternal Order of Eagles. I took him in there. I didn't know how it was going to go. He was embraced by everybody in there. Everybody in there loves him to death. He's staying here with me, you know, and I mean, everywhere I go, they're like, where's Pook at? Where's, you know? That's what this part of the country is made up of, and people don't understand that. You know, people think, oh, you're just a bunch of, you know, just a bunch of Trump voting fucking gun tote. Yeah, yeah, people tote guns out here. You fucking need them. I've had mountain lions on my fucking back patio. How many of y'all out there have had that don't live in a place? I mean, come on. Yeah, maybe once in a while there's one that shows up in California. You know, a deranged mountain lion comes wandering down and, you know, attacks somebody. But I mean, we came home from my son's birthday party a couple years ago, and we walk in, and the back motion light turns on, and he's like, "Dad, I think somebody's yellow lab is out on the back patio. Should I let it in? We can find out who owns it." I look out there, I see that tail. I'm like, "No, absolutely not. There's a mountain lion out there. You know, I've seen wolves not more than a half mile from here." But what I'm saying is, had those people shown up here in Cody, Wyoming, had they flown in here and been dropped off at that airport, they would have been treated more hospitably and better than those fuckers out there at Martha's Place treated them. You know why? Because out here in this part of the country, we have a respect for human life, no matter what color your skin is, no matter where you're from. We would look at those folks and say, God damn, think about what the fuck these people just went through to get here. And we would come up with a solution for them. What was their solution out there? All these fucking leftist fucking Democrats, these fuckers that claim to be progressive and fucking, you know, just vote fucking party every fucking election. What did they do? Within 48 hours, they had them on buses, send them to a military base. That's what they did. And they screwed up so badly. This has been all over the news for the last couple of days. I think I was one of the first people to break the fucking story, but nobody listens to me, and I've been shadow banned, so nobody gives a fuck what I have to say anyways. It don't fucking matter. But I'm still going to fucking say it because it's my right to do so, and I don't give a shit. You're not going to shut me up. I don't care. You can ban me. You can do whatever. I'm still going to find a place to fucking talk, and I don't give a shit if it's up on the street corner. you know. But my message is of, you know, I mean, I'm a fighter. I'll stand up to anybody. I don't give a shit. But you know what? I'm also compassionate towards people, and I understand. I mean, how many people stopped and stood back from this thing and looked at what these people had been through to get to Martha's place? No. Nobody did that. You know? You didn't see none of that. All you saw was fucking these talking heads, these fucking pundits on the news, grandstanding, the Joyanne Reeds. And Joyanne, you suck. I sent you an email a while back trying to reach out to you and trying to have a conversation with you, and you didn't fucking send me shit. You said, oh, this is a white man from Wyoming. I'm not going to talk to him. That's what you did. I reached out to you. I've reached out to all sorts of you people on the left side of the media asking for a conversation, asking just for a response. Like, talk to me, right? You won't. You won't respond. You won't do nothing. You just go out there and you do what they tell you, and you stand on your stupid fucking little politicized goddamn identity politics fucking bullshit fucking talking points, and you know, you don't take the time to even think that maybe somebody who doesn't look like you, doesn't maybe think like you, isn't from where you're from, maybe somebody like that. And Joyanne Reed, you're from fucking Denver, okay? You ain't from some fucking hood somewhere, okay? So stop playing this hate white people shit. You know, I reached out to you with a fucking email that was nothing but love, compassion, and I was nice to you. I said, listen, I could read it to you if you want. I'm not gonna do that. That's between her and me, and she ain't ever gonna get back to me anyway. So Joyanne Reed, I'm calling you out right now. Get back to me. Let's have a conversation. You want to talk bad about white people? Then talk to me. Talk to me. I got my NAACP card. I got it in prison. Still a card-carrying member. You can ask my boy Pook. You can ask him. This is just a fictional thing. It's just a joke. But those guys, when I was locked up, they were like, dude, you got the NAACP card. And because I got along with everybody. Right? And I looked out for people, even if they weren't my same fucking skin color. What's my skin color? I mean, I'm red, green, blue, yellow, fucking black. I'm everything. I'm a fucking Skittle. You know what I mean? I mean, that's how easy skin colors change. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about skin color being any kind of a fucking issue? That's fucking dumb. You know? I mean, I take one of these right here, right? I take a blister pack like this, okay? Sterilized needle. I put that in my tattoo machine. I'll load that thing up with ink. I change my skin color. I'll change your skin color. You can be whatever color you want around here. That's just dumb. The whole thing is fucking dumb. The whole thing shows you how little that we care about people as a whole. It shows you the collective stupidity of this country as a whole, that this turns into what it turned into. This turned into, well, we have the right, you don't know what it's like to be us on these border towns. And no, we don't. And seriously, when you live in a town of 34,000 people and you have 50,000 people that have come through that river and you're trying to do whatever you can, that's got to suck. Because you're talking about more people than live in the town. I mean, we're talking about rich, opulent, upper crust motherfuckers out there at Martha's place and 50 migrants. They couldn't manage to keep them there for more than 48 hours. It was less than 48 hours. They had them on a bus to a military base. They started a GoFundMe that made $42,516 or something like that. Not a cent of that went to the migrants. They kept it. They kept it as a contingency plan for the next time. I guarantee that money that went into that GoFundMe account, it came from that island. It was a tax write-off for some rich motherfucker who didn't want to have brown people in his backyard. And that's who these people are. That's who the liberal left is. And the Republicans, you guys should have fucking taken it. You should take it upon yourself to fucking, you know, I don't think I agree. I mean, whatever, you know, yeah, you took people and you used them as political weapons. And that shit, I guess it happens. But the thing is that if if I'd made that trek from Venezuela and you made me an offer to go to Martha's Vineyard, I would be like, fucking, where do I sign? I can't even imagine what must have been going through those people's mind getting off there. But you know what they should have done is, I mean, like I said, Trump should have said, hey, guess what? We're running short. We could use, how many golf courses does he have? I guarantee he needs people. Take those folks, man. Take those folks, get them jobs, get them fast tracked into a citizenship. You know what I'm saying? These are people who are fleeing from a country that is, you know, and yeah, you do have your gang members, and you are going to have people that are going to obviously cross that border when it's wide open like that are of the criminal element. You're going to have that happen when you're stupid, and you can't just fucking open your door and say you go outside and you meet somebody, right? Like, you open the door, you step out, and you get a look at them, right? That's all it takes. For me, anyhow. I mean, I watch these kids that are out on their missions, on their LDS missions, walk around. And I watch them. I see what happens to them. They knock on doors, door to door. Then they get the door slammed in their face, or people don't even answer. You know what I do when they knock on the door? I go open it. I go open the door. I talk to them. Find out what's up. Let them in. Here, you guys. It's middle of summer. You thirsty? I don't believe what you believe, but you want something? You want some lemonade? I know you can't have a beer, but hey, you know, it's like, you know, we've seriously lost. We've lost our way. We've lost. We've lost our way big time. It's pathetic to not have compassionate, to not be compassionate towards people that have been through a journey. How many of you out there? How far is Venezuela? Huh? Let's look this up. Let's figure it out. Huh? How far is Venezuela from Texas? How far of a fucking walk you think that is? I mean, you got to respect that. I mean, that is tenacity right there, you know? I mean, let's just go, I'll go Caracas to Texas. Let's call it Texas. Let's see how far this is. And all I got to do is, okay, we're talking about 4,140 kilometers. That's 2,122 nautical miles. And that's a straight shot. That's nautical. These people have to go all the way up, all the way through Nicaragua, Guatemala, and then trek the whole way through fucking Mexico. Okay? Anybody appreciate that? I mean, they're being told that it's wide open. What do they know? What difference do they? I mean, you know, you're talking about countries that are impoverished. These people they're not watching fucking news every night. They're going by what they hear, and they want to get the fuck out of war-torn and fucked up countries. Places where the cartels are fucking killing people left and right. And they, you know, brutal killings. In places where you got MS-13, you know? I mean, you got kids, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, there's not, these people are not here legally, but when we look at this, right, when we look at right and wrong and legal and illegal, these are two different fucking sports. You understand? The Nazis running those concentration camps and all that shit, they were doing what they were told to do, which was legal within their system. Did that make it right? Did it make it wrong? There's a difference. What's right, what's wrong, and what's legal and illegal. Legalities that's man's words, and legalities are typically phrased and written to benefit a certain group, right? Legalities, we're not talking about, you know, what one would consider an unalienable right. And that's how you pronounce it, Joe. Unalienable right. That's what the Constitution says. Unalienable, not inalienable. People, you fuckers writing the speeches for this dude, do not put the preamble to the Constitution into anything that this dude's going to say. Never again. You just make him go out there and say potato and fucking turn around a couple times and sit down. Give him a dog biscuit and let his wife talk or something. I don't know. But, y'all need to hide this fool out because him and his mush mouth, I mean, it's just amazing watching him talk to a gymnasium with 35 people in it, and then you see Trump like just selling out fucking stadiums. And Trump gets animated and he gets people excited though. He's not up there doing this yelling, fist shaking, get off my yard, fucking stay off my grass shit. He's talking about like fucking making the country right again. Like he's talking about making things good for the people. And the whole thing about MAGA, it's make America great again. Now, let's cut that down to its base fucking term. Let's cut it down to make America great again. Why does anybody have a problem with that terminology? Why wouldn't you want to live in a great country? Why would you think that means you're a fucking fascist? And what's a semi-fascist too? What's that? Fascism is one of those things where you either is or you isn't. Like, there's no semi in being a fascist. Like, you're a fascist or you like, there's no semi-slave owners. There's no semi-Ku Klux Klan members. You either are or you aren't. What's a semi-shit? It's not waking up with a chubby in the morning, a little morning wood. Dude, there's no semi-fascism. You are or you are not. And everything that I've not seen anything fascist at all. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I see, at the Trump rallies, I don't see that. And you guys should check it out. There's a video out there. I'll maybe put the link on this later. But there's a black man at one of the rallies, and Millennial Millie went and asked him if he wanted to go in to the rally, and he was like, "Well, I'd be safe in there." He was tripping, and she's like, "Well, come over to the other side." Like they were, on each side of the street yelling at each other, both sides. And this man, he was an older black gentleman, and he was concerned. He was concerned for his safety going inside. And he already had a ticket, apparently, but he didn't. He was like, "Well, will I be safe?" And she's like, "Well, come over here and talk to some folks." And she had the cameras and everything. And so he went over and started talking to people. And he was embraced. Nobody spoke badly towards this man. He had a pink hat on, for fuck's sake. And he kept bringing up like 1690. He kept going back, way back, and that's the thing. You got to let go of the past. Yes, some awful things happened, but this country made the wrongs right in a shorter amount of time than any place else. Does that justify it? Does that make it okay? It doesn't, but you can't change the past. You can't change the fucked up shit that happened. And none of us that are alive right now had anything to do with it. And this is, racism, yes, it exists. I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't exist, because it does. It exists in all sects of people. I mean, I've met black dudes that have never sat down and talked with a white guy before. And have said shit to me like, "Hey, Dave, you're all right for a white dude." And I've looked at him and said, "Well, you're all right for a black dude." How about that? Fucking pound it out and fucking we're cool. I mean, I've talked to cats that have been like, neighborhood I grew up in, there was no white people. I've never even talked to one of y'all, And it's like, well, now you have. Now you know that we aren't the devil, I mean, there's a devil everywhere. There's a devil in every person. Everybody's got that. Everybody's got that, that capacity for malevolent and malicious behavior. But we also have benevolence, And like Jordan Peterson says, you got to be dangerous to be good. You do. It's duality. Life is a duality. It all is, It's just like, it's like playing the guitar. I mean, the way music works, right? It's duality in vibrations. Sound. It's opposing sounds, but opposing sounds that work together. And that's what people should be. We can be different vibrations and still work together and still, be harmonious. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's about the best analogy that I can come up with. So anyway, Republicans and Democrats, you guys dropped the ball on this thing. This was an opportunity, I see this as an opportunity where maybe DeSantis shouldn't have even done that. Maybe he shouldn't have sent him up there. Maybe he should have, even if for political reasons, just said, "Hey, we have 50 refugees from Venezuela that showed up in Florida, and here's what we're going to do. We are going to, as Floridians, we are going to bring these people in. We have plenty of jobs right there. I mean, he talks about all the jobs down there. There's a prime opportunity. We have plenty of jobs for these folks. We're going to fast track them. We're going to get them into night school, whatever, Mexican American. What's that? I was like, go fucking Cheech and Chong. Likes education, so goes to night school and takes Spanish and gets a B. Did I just culturally appropriate something? Maybe I did, but come on, it's Cheech and Chong. Plus, I can speak and understand Spanish, so whatever the fuck, I don't give a shit. I mean, it's so stupid. Cultural appropriation. Come on, how dumb is that? That's about the fucking most idiotic thing I think I've ever heard. Anyways, I just thought I'd sound off on that. Dims, you dropped the ball. You done fucked up. You had a layup. You were literally given you're like LeBron James going up the court on a fast break, and you get a fucking alley-oop thrown up, and you're fucking flying over the rim, and the ball went right through your hands and went in the stands, and you hit your fucking teeth right on the rim of the basketball hoop, and you end up in the fucking dentist chair. You're dumb. Republicans, you did the same thing. This just proves how stupid the whole system is. This is why I always say, and I always end any of my posts with #walkaway, because we got to walk away from this nonsense, because this is not what it's about. This is not what we're about. I know the people out there in this country. We are not like these politicians. The landscape of this country does not resemble what we call our representative government. Those people do not represent the people that I know out here on the streets, the people that I know in the communities all across this country. Those people, they don't represent you and me. They don't. Their ideals, their lack of morals, their lack of ethics, their greed, their insanity, it doesn't represent you and me. And I know that. I've got that quote from Marcus Aurelius on one of my memes that I put out there, and it basically says that it's not about being part of the majority. You want to separate yourself, from the ranks of the insane. That shit that's going on in D.C. is insane. The shit that goes on the Capitol, it's insanity. It's insanity. And we greenlight that shit by just letting it go on. We're just complacent, and we're fucking comfort, and we're fine. We just let it happen. We stress about feeding our families. We stress about money. We stress about putting fuel in the vehicles. We stress about insurance and medication and fucking this and that and the other thing. But yet we sit here and we let these type of people instigate this fucking hate and this fear and war and death and disease and poverty. There should not be a single hungry child in the United States of America. There should not be a single person living in a cardboard box who doesn't want to be living in a cardboard box. Now, there are people that do want to live in a cardboard box, and hey, that's great. But you talk to the majority of people that are homeless, they don't want to be there. Trust me. I'm no angel, but I give money when I see people, and there's not a lot of homeless. In this town, we don't even have a homeless shelter, and I think it's a sad thing. If there's somebody homeless shows up here, you know what they do? They get them the fuck out of here. They put them on, get them to a bus station, something, and it's just like, you just get the fuck out of here. We don't have time to deal with you. And I think that's sad. I think that's sad. I watched that happen years back, man. Ran into this dude. It was out in the middle of nowhere. Show up, and he's crouched by the side of the river, just famished. Mumbling to himself, got nothing but clothes on his back. And there's a Subaru at the trailhead with Colorado plates, and we go walking up. I was like, "Hey, what's up, dude? What's going on?" He's like, "I'm thirsty. Do you have any water?" And he's sitting there right next to the North Fork of the Shoshone River. Pretty much, not too far from the entrance to Yellowstone. I mean, that water, you got a pretty good chance of being able to drink that water, and you're not gonna, nothing's gonna happen to you. That's some clean fucking water. Now, sure, there's maybe, but you probably got a 98% chance. I'd drink it. you probably got a 98% chance of drinking that. You're not going to get Giardia or anything like that. And, of course, me, I'm like, I ain't getting water, but I got some beer. I'm like, you got water right there, dude. He's like, huh? And started talking to the guy, And he'd been divorced. He was a school teacher, and he'd come up there to walk into the woods and kill himself. Well, the fucking outfitters kept finding him and bringing him back out. He just wanted to go in there and get eaten by a bear, and he couldn't manage to do it. He just wanted to die, And they kept bringing him out and bringing him out. And so I was like, listen, we talked to him. I was like, dude, life is not fucking worth losing like this, man. And he was going to sign over his car. We were going to take him in, get him on a bus, get him back home. And we're sitting there that night, right? He's staying in our camp. And we're sitting around the fire, and all of a sudden I hear a snap of the branches. I look up, and there's a game and fish. And, or Forest Service, I think. And he comes up and he sees the dude. Right, I'd taken him all the way up to Pahaska TB, got a fuel can filled up because his car was out of gas. So we filled up, we put a gas can together and fucking, put fuel in his car, got it started up. We were going to take him into town the next day. Well, they come up and they take him, and they take him and they haul him into town. And they just sent him loose, that next Monday. We're driving out to Grable to do a job in the work truck, and we get out there and we see I see his Subaru out there parked outside of the city limits on the east side of town, and he's walking towards the Bighorns. He's got a grocery bag. Same dude, just walking down the fucking highway. And they found him up in the fucking wilderness. They found him dead. That's what we do to people out here that are homeless and need help, I guess, which is pretty sad. So maybe when I say that but the thing is that wasn't something in the public light. That's just how they deal with it. Like that dude, nobody even knew that he was out there except for the people that, like when I pulled up with my truck and he was in my truck up at Pahaska, and my friend that was working there, she saw him and she goes, "What are you doing with that?" I said, "Fuck, we just found him by the river." She's like, "Oh my God, he's been in and out of here for the last fucking month, He's crazy." I said, "He's not crazy." I said, "He's just gone through a traumatic thing. He's lost his kids. He got divorced. His life has fallen apart. And he'd come out here." I said, "He's starved to death. He's thirsty." People get fucking goofy when you don't eat. When you're stuck out in the woods and you're trying to kill yourself and shit. He was an intelligent dude, but he ended up dead, we tried to help him. But guess what? Law enforcement came in and they basically, instead of getting the guy the help that he needed, they fucking let him go. And that's what politics does. That's the politics of life right there. We don't want to acknowledge the underbelly. We don't want to acknowledge that, there's people that need help, that are worthy of help, that everybody's worthy of help. Unless you're a child molester or a rapist or a fucking cold-blooded murderer, I'm sorry, I just can't get it. Anybody that takes advantage and is a predator on somebody smaller, weaker than them, no, I don't have it in me. And if that's wrong, then I'm a sinner, I guess. I don't know that there's redemption for somebody that's a child molester. I just don't see it. That's an evil that's, I don't know. I think we've wasted far too many resources and far too much money on those people, and they say, "Oh, well, that's what they went through when they were a kid." And so that's why they do it to others. Well, if you went through that, you're not going to try and enact that on somebody else. And I can tell you that with absolute certainty. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why I fucking hate those motherfuckers. So, take that wherever you want to take it, but the fact of the matter is just because that happened to you when you were fucking growing up doesn't mean that that's something that is okay for you to do to somebody else. You, in fact, should not be doing that to somebody else. You, in fact, should be doing the exact opposite of that. It doesn't, just because something happened to you, it doesn't make it okay to do it to somebody else. You know what I mean? You got a wiring problem if you think that's okay. And if you're from the outside looking in and you think that's okay, then you got a fucking wiring problem too. And you need to reevaluate, you got to look at where you're coming from, because that's fucked up. Think about it. If I'm a prisoner of war, right, and I get waterboarded or whatever, or, tortured, and I managed to get free, come back to society. Is that something that I'm ever going to do to somebody else? I don't think so. Yeah, you might have PTSD. Guess what? I've been diagnosed with it too. Every time I take the stupid test, it comes back saying, yeah, you know, hey, have I been through what people have been through in fucking Iraq or in wars? No, not the same thing, but I've been through, plenty of wars. Just war is war. It's different, But at the end of the day, you go through shit in life, I mean, I would rather not see, people locked up in prisons. I mean, yeah, there's some people that, the child molesters, the rapists, the murderers. Yeah. I mean, you were a motherfucker out there that you beat some lady. I watched a dude go down this woman was going down the goddamn subway stairs. And this motherfucker comes up, he hits her in the head with a hammer 13 times. An elderly woman. That dude, I'm not God. I'm not the judge, jury, or the executioner, but that dude needs to be off the streets and never put back on the streets. If you hit an elderly woman in the head with a hammer 13 fucking times, you should never be back on the streets. If you are running around with a tank top, willy-nilly, commando to the extreme, no pants on, and you assault 21 females on a jogging trail in Virginia, you should never be on the street again. If you assault a minor child sexually or any fucking way, you shouldn't be on the streets again. People that do that shit are sick. You hit somebody in the head with a hammer, I don't give a fuck. You can say you're on drugs, whatever. I've been on drugs. Okay? I've been there. I never hit nobody in the fucking head with a fucking hammer 13 fucking times. Come on. They use that as an excuse. Oh, he's not in his right mind. No, come on. I know that a bunch of people out there are squares. They've never done anything. I've lived a colorful life, and I've ingested just about everything you can fucking think of. I don't think I've ever shot heroin or smoked crack. That's about it. Whatever. I'm honest about it. I don't give a shit. But never in any of those situations did I ever hit somebody with a fucking hammer. Not once. I smacked a security guard once that was chasing me. And I feel bad about that. I shouldn't have done that, but I can't ever make that right. That was a mistake, but I hit him once. And sit there and it wasn't with a fucking hammer. Jesus Christ. And people kicking old ladies on fucking train tracks and shit. Nah, you shouldn't be in society. But yet those people go in and they just get released, right? No bail. They just get released. But the child molester goes in and they coddle the child molester. The guy, the rapo, they go in to get 24, 36 months. They go in the feds. You can't do nothing to them. You can't touch them. If you touch them, you're going to catch a hate crime. Another 5 years, right? Like, those dudes used to just get they'd just get killed when they went in. Now, you can't do nothing but make their lives miserable and keep your hands off them. I mean, I don't know how many times I got jammed up with those fuckers, and I never did anything to, I never fucking physically did anything to a single one of them. I grabbed one and fucking drug him in his chair out in the hallway out of my TV room. And yeah, it was my TV room because I was the only one there that would enforce the fucking shit. I was the only one there that said, yeah, no fucking chomos, you ain't coming in here. In the feds, they have a institutional movie every weekend. And I tried to fight this all the time, they had some board that would pick the movie, the institutional movies, right? They'd have like 3 movies over the weekend. They would start on Friday afternoon. And they always picked little kid movies, right? Always. And so you'd had these dudes, there was one TV in the TV room, and I made that, when I went in there and took over the TV room, which I didn't try to do, it just happened. Because I was the only one that had any leadership skills. But I was like, okay, this is sports TV. That's the fucking institutional movie TV and news and whatever. And I made a clipboard, and the guys with the most seniority got to write down what shows they wanted to watch because I had seen that TV rooms in prison cause the most fights. And so I put a clipboard underneath every TV, and the guys that had the seniority got first pick. So, dude been there longer than anybody else, guess what? you get to pick whatever program is most important to you that week, right? You write it down. So on that TV, we're going to watch what fucking Paul wants to watch first. Okay? He's got the slot on Wednesday night from 7 to 8 to watch whatever the fuck it is. That's what he gets. And you fill it out, and you got a way of going. That's how I went about it. But then when the institutional movies would come on, and I finally changed it. I mean, I would let the middle TV and the TV room and the white TV room, that was the institutional movie channel on the weekends. And that's how I started it out. And then as time went on, I was like, nope. I was like, if it's a cartoon, it's not getting any play, because the fucking child molesters would sit out in the hallway and they'd look through the window. They'd bring their chairs and their popcorn, and they could put their radio on, right? Because all the TV comes through a radio station, right? Each TV is to a different frequency, kind of like what you got in your car if you got that little thing where you can plug it in. Anyway, it looks like I'm about out of space. I can't record anymore, so who knows? I guess I got to clean up my disc. So anyway, I got off on a tangent there, but I'm going to cut it off. And I meant to go short. See, I'm a liar. I'm a hypocrite. I'm a liar. I told you I was going to cut it short. I told you I was just going to say a few things. I was up and, I was just sitting here thinking about the whole thing with Martha's Place and how these people just totally fucked up a golden opportunity, and you gotta use that in life too, folks. When you look at situations where you're thinking you're going to get pissed off about something, okay, well, I'm not going to take this. Maybe there's a better way to go about it. There's a phrase called killing them with kindness. My mother has always been she's just been amazing at doing that. Watch her diffuse situations through being kind to people, and they don't know what to do. So had these people taken this scenario, and instead of blowing it up into this fucking hate-filled, news piece where everybody's yelling at everybody and calling each other names, if somebody had just taken a moment to, maybe understand what these people had been through, and, showing them a little love, giving them a hand up, pointed them in the right direction, put a roof over their head, give them a job, get these people, get these folks in school. You can hire some ESL teachers. You could hire me as an ESL fucking teacher. Shit, I should fucking start doing that. You know what I mean? I'm on there on Google Translate. I do that shit all the time, translating stuff into Spanish, everybody, yeah, I can speak Spanish. I'm out of practice. I can understand it. I can understand anything in Spanish, but, my practice of speaking it is not the greatest right now, but I can still adequately communicate. You could put me in Mexico right now and I'd have no problem communicating with people. So, anyway, at the end of it, like I always say, even though I get animated and wound up about things and it fires me up, it's, it's for reasons that I feel are, the right thing. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I'm going to go with my convictions at the end of the day. And if I'm wrong, then show me otherwise. I'm not beyond being corrected, that's for sure. I know I make mistakes, and I know I'll continue to make mistakes. And I figure if anybody points that out and helps me figure out that I'm fucking up, then you're helping me out, and I'm grateful for it. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking arrogant about it. I'm not going to get egotistical and wound up and just argue for argument's sake. The way I'm trying to look at the world is through a critical eye, and not critical being negative, but critical as in, taking things in, examining them, thinking about it, mulling it over, and not trying to just pop off, it took me 2 days to sit here and come out with this. It took me 2 days of sitting here and just mulling this over in my own mind and trying to figure out where I stood on things, and, came to the conclusion that it was an opportunity to not only do the right thing for humanity, because at the bottom, at the end of the day, these are people that we're talking about. These are 50 individual people. They're no different than you or I. They just happen to be born in a different country. They happen to be from a fucking place where they were less fortunate than you and I. And definitely less fortunate than these fucking assholes out there at Martha's Place. And definitely less fortunate than Ron DeSantis and anybody else, And so it isn't right to politicize people. It's not right to weaponize people. It's not right to weaponize the Department of Justice. None of this shit's right. But it is what it is. So on that note, I'm out of here from Coyote, Wyoming, 52 miles east of Jellystone Park. You've been tuned into the Mike Files. I'm your host, Michael File. I wish you all nothing but the best on this Sunday fun day. And hopefully nobody gets a case of the Mondays tomorrow. Don't even think about that. Sorry, I didn't bring it up. All right. So be good to be good at it. And all things, be kind and do no harm. Take me out with a bong hit.